She's windy. Whew. That wind is even affecting me now, trying to pull this canoe across. Come on. This is pretty hard going. All right, here we go. About to launch. And today's goal is at least Slave Falls, which is 15 miles from where I am. I'm currently at Otter Falls campground. So Slave Falls, here I come. So around here, it's obviously pretty close to Winnipeg City, so it's accessible to many people. So there's lots of beautiful cabins along the edge of the river. Not a bad place to spend summer, I'd say. It is beautiful around here. So coming up in front of me is Otter Falls, which isn't really any falls. I'll show you when I get a bit closer. It's just pretty quick moving water, which I wouldn't be able to paddle through. So I'm probably gonna have to get out. I shouldn't need to unload. I should be able to just pull the canoe around shallow area. So up here is where it narrows quite a bit. You can even see how fast the water's moving. I'm just sitting in an eddy at the moment. And let's just go into that and see if I can make any progress.
An eddy on the river is a section of water that flows in the opposite direction of the main current, typically forming behind obstacles like rocks, fallen trees, or riverbanks. Eddies occur when the main current moves past an obstruction, creating a swirling or recirculating flow, where the water slows down or even moves upstream. Eddies are commonly used by paddlers and boaters as resting spots, areas to regain control, or strategic locations for maneuvering in fast-moving water.
Oh, that's cool. Sauna. So that's Otter Falls right in front of me there. And I'm thinking I should be able to sneak around to the right side of it. That's what I'm thinking anyway, but we'll see. I'm gonna have to try to walk it through that area. Good canoe. Very good. All right. Success. So I'm imagining I'm going to have to do that quite a lot on this leg, and maybe just from now on, like until Montreal. So having to do that all the time is going to really slow me down, and that's why I've allowed 15 miles a day for this leg, like against the current, and for those little sections like that. Right, we're moving. Now, every time I paddle, I'm trying to stay really close to the edges and in all the eddies, you know, like an eddy is where the water flows this way and then it does this turn on itself. And there, in those eddies, the water's either not moving or it's actually swirling, so it actually pushes me in the right direction in some cases. So it's a beautiful day, feels good, and I'm confident that I'm going to get to Slade Falls, maybe even a little further. Whoa. Got a really big gust of wind. Whew. How's it going? Not too bad. Any luck? Nice. Huh? You? Oh, I'm not fishing today. Got a long way to go. Montreal. Yeah, I started in the Rockies 3 months ago. Yeah. I've got a YouTube channel called What in the World if you want to check it out. Yeah. What in the world, yeah. Thank you. Cheers. Just gonna rest up here for a second against this dock, because just here, this is Barrier Bay. So the whole place, like down that way where I just came from, is quite wide. So there hasn't been much of a current, but here it narrows just while I get through Barrier Bay. So I'm gonna have to work pretty hard, I'm guessing, just for this section. So I'm just gonna stop here for a sec and have a drink, maybe have some food, yeah, before hitting that next section. Trail mix, you gotta love it. All right, that's enough. Let's get back to it. So up here is where it narrows quite a bit. You can even see how fast the water's moving. I'm just sitting in an eddy at the moment. And let's just go into that and see if I can make any progress. Pretty shallow here. Oh man, got the wind as well as the current. Okay. Come on, Tom. As soon as I came around that corner, the wind straight against me, current straight against me. But we're making progress now. I've just stopped at, it's like a bit of a horseshoe at Barrier Bay, and it just narrows a bit around that corner that I can't see, so there's a perfect spot here just to jump out and have a walk around and check it out. And if I can't quite see over there, I might put my drone up, but otherwise it looks like from where I am right here, you just walk over the rock and you're at the other side. And I'll skip, if there is any rapids or anything over there, any difficult water, I can just skip it and just do a little portage. Let's check it out. Look how big the portage is. There's my canoe. Pedal there, portage. Because I think to get from here around that point, it's going to be moving pretty quick. Well, looking at that footage on the drone, honestly I don't think that there's one way I could go that's going to make a hell of a difference. I think it's more of a case of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. So I'm just going to do the one that I know is going to work, which is just portage over those few meters. So that's what I'm going to do. So that wind is really strong now. It was forecasted for 30-kilometer winds, and I think it's finally here. So right here where I'm at, straight here to my right, is a campsite, but it's only about 1:30, quarter to 2, I think, and I want to see if I can keep moving forward in this. The problem is, you know, I'm against the wind and against the current, so I want to see if I can, because there is another campsite up here called Nutamic, I think that's how you pronounce it, Nutamic, something like that, which I could go to if it's really difficult. But if it's possible, I want to get to Slave Falls. That was the goal today. Man, that wind is even. Whew, that wind is even affecting me now, trying to pull this canoe across. Incredible. So pretty much around this point just in front of me there, that's pretty much where I'm going to know if it's possible for me to continue, or do I go to this campground over here, because around that point is going to be the wind. I'm already feeling the wind pretty good now, but around there is going to be even harder, and the current, so that's going to be the test. If I don't move, then I'll just come back here to this camp. Basically trying to turn it to come through here. I can get the nose, but I can't get the tail around. I just need that tail to come around, and then I'll be able to pull it this way. Keep going, tail, keep going.
So maybe on camera this looks very easy, but I can assure you the rocks underneath me are so slippery, plus the weight of the canoe and the moving current, trying to keep the canoe straight and stable in these mellow conditions without falling over on my face wasn't that easy. I can't help but to think the difference just one other person would make in all of this.
Yes, that's what I wanted. Keep going for it. No. Come on. Yes. Yeah. This is pretty hard going, I'll be honest. I think I'm going to get to that Nudamik camp and call it there. If it's going to stay like this, and that camp is just over here somewhere, but I can't go direct because that's exactly where the wind's coming from, so I'm going to go sort of round the long way, the long slow way. Looks pretty rough through here. She's windy and choppy. I'm just trying to get over here to the land so I'd be a bit more protected. But once I came out, the wind was coming there, and as soon as I came out here, it shifted over to there, typically. You can see I'm just going sideways. Not even, the boat's not even turning. There we go. So now I'm pretty close to the shoreline, and the wind is swirling, which basically what that means is whatever way I face, that's where the wind comes from. That's what that means. What was your name?
Mine's Jeff.
Jeff, pleasure Jeff. Yeah, I was in the middle of the Saskatchewan River, and I heard something, nobody around, nobody at all, and I heard a noise in the trees, and I was just like, hello? And then I just hear, hello? And then a woman stuck her head out. Her name was Candace, and she said to me, do you want a coffee? No, first she goes, where'd you come from? I go, Rocky Mountains. She goes, do you want a coffee? And I was like, I don't drink coffee, but do you have a water? She was like, yep. So I paddled ashore and went up to her house, which was up there, and was chatting with her husband, and her husband said, yeah, I watch YouTube, and he said sailing channels like Delos and Parlay, and I was sitting on his deck. I was like, hello, you know. And he looked at me for a few seconds, and then he's like, Tom. Like, yeah. He goes, what are you doing here? Because in the middle of Canada, I think where I was, in the middle of, I think it's Saskatchewan that I was in. I think it's the second furthest away from any ocean you could get. I think Siberia, don't quote me, but I think Siberia might be the furthest. And then it's the middle of Canada, I think.
Yeah, because like Saskatchewan is completely landlocked.
Yeah.
Well,
Manitoba as well.
Is,
yeah.
And the only place there is any ocean is way up
north. Yeah.
Getting into the Arctic.
Yeah. So he was like, I did not expect to see you on a canoe in the middle of the river, you know.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Just talking to Jeff on the rocks, and he said, yeah, I see you've got a YouTube channel. He said, yeah, I watch a bit of YouTube. I said, oh, what kind of stuff? And he said, mostly sailing channels. I said, like Parlay Revival? And he said, yeah, I watch Parlay. So I said it again. I said, do you recognize me? He looked at me for a bit. I'm like, Tom. He's like, oh! It's funny. It's funny to be in the middle of Canada in my canoe and bumping into people that watch sailing channels and watch Parlay Revival. So I'm going to pull in here. This is Nudamik. I'm pretty sheltered in here now, but the wind is really strong. Current strong, wind is strong, and it is 3:30. So even if I did battle against the wind and the current, I'm not going to get that far in the next few hours anyway. So I figured I'm just gonna save my energy and take the loss. I was trying to get to Slave Falls today, but that's not going to happen. Nudamik campground is where I'm going to stay. Alright, so the office is really far away from where I just landed, so I started walking, but there was a guy gave me a lift. Nobody was in the office, so basically you just choose whatever campsite you want. So there's one available that's pretty close to the water, so I'm going to paddle over closer to it. Just walking around the campsite. I've set up my camp. I'm just taking a little walk around. Jeff, the guy that I met on the rock, as I was coming in, he invited me over to say hello. So that's where I'm going now. See if I can find him. It's a really big campsite though, so I don't know if I'll be able to find him. I'll give it a go though. Big fella, found you.
Yeah, we just got back. We were going to grab a couple things from the store. Needed some ice and whatnot.
Oh, nice. The sunset looks pretty good. I'm just going over here to have a look at it. See if I can get a good shot. Even that looks pretty cool.
Well, today was a bit of a grind. Between the wind in my face, the current pushing back, and those lovely little moments where I had to hop out and drag the canoe through the rough waters. It wasn't exactly the smoothest day, but you get those. Now going against the current, now that's a new experience. It definitely adds a whole new level of difficulty. But honestly, I'm kinda impressed with myself. With the weight of the canoe and the gear, I was still making progress. Slow, stubborn progress, but progress nonetheless. So I'm doing myself a wee bit proud here. Now I didn't quite make it as far as I planned, but you know what? No complaints. Sometimes the journey is all about rolling with whatever the river throws at you. So thanks for coming along, and I'll see you next week.
The steak is so good. Every time I go to a city, just before I leave on my last day, or just a town in general, I get a couple of steaks for my first couple of nights. And God, it's such a treat. Such a treat. And this time I actually got a couple of bit better ones. I went to Costco. First time I've ever gone to Costco. And what an experience that was. Got a couple of good steaks, so man, I am enjoying this. So good. Alright, so it's about 30 minutes after the first time I came here to look at the sunset. So let's see if I can get a even better picture now. Not bad.
So once again, please like, share, subscribe, and say hi in the comments below. And if you want to support my channel in a bigger way, then please consider becoming a patron, where you will get first opportunity to come sailing with me, real-time updates, and much more. Becoming a patron keeps the journey going and the videos coming each week, and none of this would be possible otherwise. Just click the link in the description below. And don't forget to check out my swag store at www.whatintheswag.com and get yourself some merch. Also, don't forget I'm a sailboat captain, so if you need a captain or crew, then head to my website. It's www.yachtdeliver.com. Fill out the simple form and I can deliver your boat or captain a charter in any location of your choice. Thanks for watching and see you next week.